I wanted to talk about the Matt Walsh segment because it's just so absurd to me. Like, I genuinely I cannot believe my eyes. If 1 million fireflies. He uploaded this after tweeting or retweeting this. Matt Walsh won't apologize. Controversial tweet breakdown.
Your feelings are your problem. I don't give a damn about them or you. I decline to take part in this struggle session, and I have nothing but contempt for anyone trying to drag me into it. During my
Why is the intro like a true crime, like serial killer session? What the hell?
time on the public stage, I have found myself thrown into the middle of some
Why would you start it with like a villain monologue? It's like, I'm the good guy also here. Come look at this villain monologue. Although I gotta close this window.
very dumb, very fake outrage cycles. But this week, I have experienced what surely is the dumbest and fakest one of all. Over the past several days, I have been attacked by both the left and even a fair number of people on the right for, as the story goes, posting a swastika on Twitter. Or as it has been put, including by this ostensibly right-wing account, I, quote, approvingly tweeted a swastika. Now, this is the narrative that various factions have decided to run with, the story that they're telling. Never mind the fact that the story is entirely made up. It didn't actually happen. What did happen is that a few days ago, I tweeted a point that you've heard me make many times, especially recently. I called out the PSYOP that has been conducted to convince white people that they aren't native to their own homeland, even if their ancestors have been here for dozens of generations. And somebody responded to that point that I made on X, and they responded and said this, quote, these people are native to Europe, not the Americas or Africa. Sounds like you need to Google what the word native means. Now, accompanying that caption is a picture of 6 blonde white girls, which you can see here. And I responded to that, disagreeing with it, and I said this. People who look like that have been living in Americas for 5 centuries. If 5 centuries is not long enough to qualify as native, then how long do you need? If the answer is that your ancestors have to actually originate from the place, then nobody is native to anywhere. So where do you draw the line?
Not even true, huh? What? No, that's not true.
So that's what happened. That's it, what you just saw. Now, you might be thinking, but wait a minute, where did you approvingly tweet a swastika in that exchange? Well, apparently, the picture posted by the other account, the one that I was arguing with, contains a hidden swastika that you can only see if you squint and hold the phone far away from your face. And I'm not joking, this is actually what people are mad about, okay? And now you might be thinking, wait a second. People are mad at you because someone else posted a picture with a hidden swastika that nobody can even see unless someone else tells them it's there? Well, yes, but also no. That's the genesis of this latest outrage cycle. It's why I've been attacked for 2 days straight. But no, they're not actually mad.
Attacked for 2 days straight.
Okay, nobody is mad. This is all a game they're playing. It's the game the outrage mob always plays. The game is to lie, defame, and smear until the target, me in this case, performs whatever self-debasing act of compliance they're demanding. And in this case, they have demanded repeatedly, many, many times, that I apologize and disavow and delete and deliver some kind of assurance that I am not, in fact, a Nazi. They're trying to force me into a struggle session. That's what this is all about. And we'll get back to that in a moment. But first, I want to show you how far this Matt Walsh posted a swastika story
I'm going to show you guys the
spread,
post in a sec.
and also how it spread, because I think this is a good case study in how these mobs operate and how they corner people into engaging in the struggle session. So it begins with tweets like this one from an account called Dreamleaf. She posted a screenshot of the hidden swastika picture along with a side-by-side of the same picture with the swastika drawn in red for reference. And the caption says, I like how he pretended not to notice. Because it's so noticeable that she had to color it in red so people would notice it. And that tweet, by the way, has 10 million views and 25,000 likes. Lots of other accounts piled on. Most of them were leftist accounts, but also some on the right as well. Many people all claiming that I was sending out a Nazi dog whistle. They expressed concern. They were troubled. They needed me to explain myself. And pretty soon the narrative shifted. So they all agreed that, after several hours of this and all the tweets and everything, pretty soon everyone seemed to agree that, well, even if I didn't see the swastika at first, I must see it now. And in order to prove that I'm not a Nazi, I have to delete it. But I didn't delete it, which was even more evidence against me. Large accounts like this one with over 100,000 followers declared that my refusal to delete is self-incriminating. So this guy wrote cryptically, Matt Walsh's swastika post is still up. He knows.
Cryptically? Dude, conservatives and media literacy, just general literacy, honestly, is so brutal. They will straight up look at text that is... There's no subtext. It's just text. It's just text. There's no subtext. And they'd be like, I see what you mean. Okay? I see what you mean. You thought I wouldn't catch it? I caught it. It feels like that one Anna Kasparian Jenk clip where they're like, we can see in between the lines. It's like, there are no in between the lines. It's right there. What are you talking about? Oh God. The original person, by the way, that posted this said that they were originally trolling them, and then they fucking got him. These people are native to Europe, not the Americas or Africa. It sounds like you need to Google what the word native means. Again, the original person who posted it. I was just trolling. I'm surprised you took the bait, which he eventually quote tweeted saying, people who look like this have been living in the Americas for 5 centuries. If 5 centuries are not long enough to qualify as native, then how long do you need? If the answer is that your ancestors have to actually originate from the place, then nobody is native to anywhere. Out of curiosity. What does Wikipedia define as indigenous? Also, for anyone who doesn't see the swastika, just squint your eyes a little bit. Just close them as much as you can until you can only barely see. Until you only can barely see what's in front of you. Just as much as you can until you can only just barely see a little. Yeah. Mm, trying to see. I think that this is specifically talking about... Oh, actually, no, I don't think so. Let's see what Google says. Generally no accepted definition of indigenous peoples, although in the 21st century the focus has been on self-identification, cultural difference from the other groups in the state, special relationship with the traditional territory, experience of subjugation and discrimination under a dominant cultural model. Estimates of a population of the indigenous people range from 250 million to 600 million. There's some 5,000 distinct indigenous people. The wiki doesn't show anything about like time, which would make sense because the amount of time it takes is not what makes some group of people indigenous to a region, right? And then I don't see anything else. I can try and look through a different definition, but my understanding of indigenous is like, are there a people that are considered indigenous to that territory already? That have had generations and generations living there? That don't have a history of like your great grandpa having moved there? Okay. If you are not that person, if your great grandparents or their grandparents immigrated there, then you're not indigenous. I wonder if his definition also applies to Palestinians. Oh, yeah. Yep. It's like arguing how deep is a pan before it is a pot. There's a line, but this guy lives nowhere near it. Well, this is the problem with like trying to define what a chair is, right? That the way we use language is descriptive, not prescriptive, right? Language is meant to communicate one thing to everybody else. And as long as we all agree what that everybody else thing is, that's what that word means. I genuinely, I can't tell if this is sarcasm or not. There's so much leftist infighting, I can't tell if this is sarcasm. Stinking leftists, your problem is that you use wiki. I genuinely can't. I don't know. I don't know. Is it a shit post? Is it a leftist infighter? Is it a right winger? Who knows? It could be any of the above. Pan versus pot is fucking me up. Yep. But I mean, this is the same thing. Like I said, you should be asking Grog. This is the same thing with trying to define a chair. A chair is something that you can sit on with 4 legs. Okay, well then, is this not a chair? This has 3 legs. Is this not a chair? Okay, well, it's something you can sit on with some number of legs. Okay, so is this a chair? Okay, it's an inanimate object that you can sit on with some number of legs. Which I'm trying to find it. Hold up. I'm pulling all these things up one at a time. No, why do these images look so shit? I swear to God, dude, they did something to Google and made it so that all the images always are super fried when you try and open them. Very irritating. Okay, so like, is this not a chair? It's weird because it's called a chair. They call it a chair. Here, I'll pick an image that's more clear. This one might be a little weird for Americans because Americans don't really sit on or near the floor because we don't really have that. This is a futon. In what universe is this a futon? That's a seat. Okay, so what's the definition between a seat and a chair? One second. Wait, where is it? There's this one chair that's like obscene. But I'm trying to find it and I can't find it. But it's got like a rounded bottom. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. It's like the ones that they, like, school chairs.
What would chairs look like if our legs bent the other way?
What the fuck? Don't say that. The wobble stool? Is that what it's called? You guys get the point that I'm making. Sorry. There's a... I noticed that too, only downscaled. Oh, here, there we go. Here we are. YouTube. Google only uses these downscaled images. Yeah, I know. It's so annoying. Anyways. A chair is a featherless biped. Yes. Soho Concept Crescent. Is this what I'm looking for? No, this isn't quite right, because then this would be still considered... This is not what I was thinking of. There's this chair, and I can't really explain it in words, but I'm trying to find it off of like a quick search, but I don't know architecture or furniture at all. But like, it's a chair that looks like this. And then this seat is here. And the cushion is here, but it's like raised off the ground like this. It's like a hammock, not quite. Oh, yes, like this is a good example. So like, do you think it would be incorrect to call this a chair? There's a better version that's like, it's like smaller. This is hilarious. Or like this. So like, is this not a chair? It doesn't technically have legs. It's kind of just this one amalgamated object. Is this a chair, or is this something else? The monstrosity. It's a monstrosity against God. Yeah. Language is dumb. I can't. Damn, all right. I don't know what a chair is and what's not. Yeah. But it's hideous. That's what it is. True. DLDR, language is prescriptive. Or sorry, descriptive, not prescriptive. But when we think of people who are native to a region, or people who are indigenous to a region, not someone being native born, because obviously being native born only requires that you're born there, but being native to a region, being indigenous to a region, we're talking about whether or not that is the, like when you pull up your ancestry.com, what region does it pull up for you, right? This idea that like, well, these people have been living here for enough time, so they're basically indigenous. Like what? They're native to the region, huh? So potatoes are native to Ireland? Because they're not. They aren't? No. Or tomatoes to Italy? Mm-hmm. No, potatoes, tomatoes, corn. These are all things that are native to or were native to the US. Or like, not the US, sorry. The Americas, excuse me. Doesn't mean that you can't take these things and have them thrive or do well or be utilized in other regions, right? But you can also just like recognize that, right? And say that, yeah, sure, they're not native, but like, who cares?
Soon other conspiracy theories started flying around, like this one. How can people not see a Nazi logo on a picture? You really have to be blind. And the thing about Matt is that I think this was already planned in advance. He wanted to get people talking about him. You know what they say? Talk bad, talk nice about me, but just talk. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe this was all planned.
God, he talks like the dumbest, smuggest asshole on the planet.
Maybe I'm in cahoots with the other account. Maybe the other account is actually me. Who knows? Now, the only way to absolve myself of the charge is to come out and explicitly say that I'm not a Nazi and I'm sorry about the swastika and delete it. And if I don't do that, then anything is possible. These people have no choice but to assume the worst. But I still didn't delete it or apologize or issue any clarifying statement about my position on the Nazi party. So the dog pile continued. And soon it spread, as it always does, to other platforms like Reddit. One popular Reddit post with 4,000 upvotes sarcastically implies that I knowingly retweeted a swastika. All of the comments agree that this was a Nazi dog whistle on my part. The top comment with over 1,000 upvotes says this: you know, this popped up on his feed because it literally feeds him Nazi propaganda based on his interests, and he chows down. Right, the fact that a response to one of my tweets showed up in my feed is evidence that I have Nazi interests. That's the claim.
Well, sort of, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Twitter does push a lot more Nazi garbage, but if you keep pressing do not interact, I'm not interested, I don't want to interact, it shows you less and less and less of it. And yeah, interacting with it makes it worse. Also, the picture was made with Stable Diffusion AI. The swastika is 100% intended to be there. Well, yeah, the person who posted it said that I was just trolling. I'm surprised he took the bait. The person who made it originally was trying to bait him. I think fucking got his ass.
And thousands of people agreed with it. Over on Facebook, a leftist account declared, Matt Walsh is retweeting swastikas. Hundreds of comments again agree that I must be a Nazi. There's no other explanation. Especially because I haven't deleted it and I haven't apologized. Needless to say, TikTok got in on the action. This guy wanted to let everybody know that he has visceral disgust and disdain for me and all these swastikas that I'm posting all over the place. Watch.
So Matt Walsh actually posted this. You might not see it, but look at the girls. You got going down this way, going up that way, going that way, and then you got down here, going up, going up, going up. Look long enough, you'll see it. Words cannot express the visceral disdain I have for Matt Walsh.
So he has to explain how to see the swastika. He invites you to stare closely at it and guides you through it so that you can see it.
You have to be blind to not see it. I don't understand.
And yet, he's sure, of course, that I did see it and that I replied to that guy's post as some sort of ploy to spread the Nazi message. This video that we'll play next has the same interpretation.
Well, it's not a ploy, some secret ploy. I mean, that's what you do regularly, repeatedly. Huh? Dude lied, then admitted to lying about Project 2025, but we should believe him now. Also, even without seeing the swastika, the image is a very Nazi-coded image. I mean, yeah,
interpretation. He says
I
that
love the idea of like saying, Your Honor, I didn't see the swastika, but I just said Nazi shit. Like, I mean, okay, man, sure. Sure.
I've told everyone who I am, and they should believe me.
Fascist commentator, Matt Walsh. Perfect example of when people tell you who they are, believe them. Squint your eyes a little bit if you can't see it. I think I can see this from outer space.
Now,
Those are the most based Americans, by the way. That man you just witnessed on the screen, that's it. That's as based as you can get.
guy is so upset that you'd think I tweeted a picture of something really personally offensive to him, like, you know, a salad or a treadmill. Anyway, there's also...
Oh my God, this guy is so funny. Oh my God, that salad, you get it. Oh my God. Do you guys get it? It's because he's fat. Oh my goodness. This is just... If you guys didn't laugh, you must have not understood it, okay? It was a very high-level joke.
this video, which we'll put up on the screen, and in this one with over 700 likes, he points to the post and implies that my Nazi affiliations are now clear as day. The top comment says simply, Matt Walsh is a Nazi. And then there's another comment on this video with 70 likes that claims that I, quote, had a stage built in one of their symbols. Yes, I
like the idea that Matt Walsh, someone who's explicitly spent hours of his time, oh my God, why is my voice so hoarse? Hours of his time spreading racist ideology, attempting to create as much interclass warfare, race warfare in the United States, as teetered on the edge of basically saying explicitly, yeah, I think we should have segregation. That Matt Walsh, that same Matt Walsh, has the audacity to say, I can't believe these people think that just because I retweeted an image with a hate symbol in it, that I'm a racist Nazi. What the fuck? How dare they?
Designing Nazi stages now. What does that mean? What is this person talking about? Well, who knows? But if it isn't true, then why won't I just...
I mean, to be fair, I totally believe Matt Walsh was way too busy looking at the underage blonde white girls to notice the swastika. Okay. That is a good point. Considering the fact that this video exists, that's a very valid point. Hold up.
Especially if they say they have candy.
As he's sitting in a car parked on the side of the road talking about how the age of consent really
Ones if you've seen this, twos if you
is
haven't seen it.
a social XO clip.
Consensual have
I think uncovered this video.
minds. We have really two categories. There are non-consensual sex, which is bad, and then we have consensual sex, which we think is always good. That's what the culture says. That's what a lot of us have. Most of us, it seems like that's the idea that we have. It's like, as long as they're consenting adults who choose to do this thing, then it must be okay. But the reality is that there's a lot of bad sex. There's a lot of immoral sex. There's a lot of disordered, gross, harmful sex that is nonetheless consensual.
Pause it. And I want you to understand, we've got other...
That's okay. That's not... that's not that bad, right? It's not like it's going to get worse, right?
There's a lot of immoral sex. There's a lot of disordered, gross, harmful sex that is nonetheless consensual. All of the cases that I mentioned, they're all immoral, bad, gross, harmful.
It's okay, guys. It's not going to get worse, right?
Pedophilia.
With no resistance, engage in sex acts with him. Does that belong in the same category as the 12-year-old kids who are raped by men twice their size? I think clearly it doesn't. And then you also have the accusations against Asia Argento, where a guy at 17, legal age, in almost every state in the union, willingly has sex with this 100-pound Italian model, making no effort to leave the room or leave the situation. Then he comes back, blackmails her, demands money for it, and gets paid. And now he says he was traumatized by his willing participation in sex acts with a woman when he was a few months away from his 18th birthday. Does that belong in the same?
For anyone who didn't understand, he's saying that he thinks it's better that age of consent laws are violated over gay sex. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Well, that wasn't that bad. No one is thinking this.
Of young kids and their butchers. And it seems, though, that Matt Walsh is the one who's fixated a bit on the bodies of children.
It is not. In fact, ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century, but ever since they started keeping records, in 1957 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957. Not 2009,
well, back
not
then,
today.
All of them were supposed to have kids. Like, that's when you had kids.
That's my point, okay? So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm just, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number one, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number two, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for
less civilized
6 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing. Fact three, girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing.
So the chatter that said he was probably too busy focused on the underage girls than he was the swastika, you might actually be right. Credit where credit is due. I think he is probably a first and a Nazi second. You're not wrong on that one, okay? That is, that is fact number one. Fact number one, he's a minor and all that, Fact number two, he's a Nazi. I mean, I'm just stating facts here. Mm-hmm. How did you get PDF file from that? If you're encouraging the state to lower the age of consent, and you're encouraging teen pregnancy, and you're making appeals to nature and saying, no, this is just when it happens. That's being a PDF file. Encouraging that teenage girls should in fact be getting pregnant because that's when they are the most fertile is actually insane. It's also incorrect, by the way, in terms of, I should be cautious with my words. First, the term fertile there is very questionable because fertility statistics are so fucked by a variety of industries, and the less fertile you are, I know one of the worst versions of this is the very commonly cited stat that when you turn, 30, you like double the chance of birth defects, and the doubling the chance goes from 0.5% to 1%. The question is, how much fertility do you lose? The other question is, how do you weigh that against other factors? So one very common problem with teen pregnancy is that mortality rates are higher. For one reason or another, most likely because, teenagers are still growing. Even after puberty, you still keep growing a little bit. Is it after 40 for double the birth defects? You might be right. It might be 40, not 30. My mistake. Where teen pregnancy rates compared to 20-year-olds, health consequences, complications, and bodily complications are significantly increased for teenagers compared to 20-year-olds. So you have to measure these things. What's the fertility lost as a teenager compared to like the mortality rate of the mothers? I think these are important things to consider. If you're losing 1% fertility, like at 17, you have like, I'm picking random numbers here, 80% fertility success rate meta. And at 22, or at, sorry, he said to 24. At 25, you've got like 75%, but a significantly lower rate of complications, a significantly less likely rate of complications, not to mention a better outcome for the child because you're probably more financially secure than you would be at 17, then I don't know. I think that that's more important than just blanket fertility. But if you're ignoring all of the facts just to push that idea, you're actively just trying to lower the age of consent, which is a position to hold. He said it was common for girls to get pregnant at their most fertile years. Historically, yeah, when people live to like 30 or 40, because you just got like syphilis and then died. Historically, infant mortality rates were really high. We shouldn't look at infant mortality rates now and be like, well, you know, they used to be a lot higher. And you have to understand what purpose, to what extent, why are you bringing this up to begin with? Not you specifically, but Matt Walsh. Why is he using these ideas, these facts, which I don't even know if these are true because conservative talking heads are they just lie all the time. But let's just pretend for a moment, mostly because I don't feel like looking this up, that everything he said is true, which huge if there. Why mention that or bring that up? We can say today, objectively, teen pregnancy is bad. Teenagers probably shouldn't be getting pregnant. They should probably be focusing on finishing high school and making sure that they can make those decisions. Like, at 16, at 17, you can't even take care of yourself at that age. There are some rare cases of emancipation from parents and stuff like that, but most teenagers are not capable of taking care of themselves. We shouldn't allow kids who can't take care of themselves to bring into the world kids that there's no way they could take care of. Using any facts, which to begin with, these facts aren't valuable if they are only brought or only talked about in the context of like hundreds of years ago, before we had modern medicine. If your purpose in bringing up these facts is to create a net harm in the world, like that's bad. That's a bad thing. I don't. Does that explain it to you, chatter? Yeah, I definitely agree there. Okay, yeah. I promise, dude, my position's reasonable.